Welcome to a Vanguard news video without the bullshit. Let's get started. If you like that Vanguard's card economy now revolves around who can get their paws on promo cards, then I got good news for you. For V Premium, Stealth Dragon Geki as an Ubatama card once per turn while on Vanguard or Rearguard lets you pay 1 Soul Blast when it attacks while boosted, to make your opponent discard 1 card if they have 4 or more cards in hand. And while in your hand, you can discard this card at the beginning of your raid phase if your Vanguard is grade 1 or less to add up to 1 grade 2 or lower card from the top 5 cards of your deck. Everyone's favorite hand sniping ability is back. Too bad Gear Chronicle cards only work on their owner's turns, otherwise it would have been free advantage. Reprisal Strike Dragon is a Aqua Force card once per turn while on Vanguard or Rearguard lets you pay 1 counter blast when it attacks while boosted. To stand itself, then it gets 10k power. If it was the 4th battle of this turn or more, you discard a card if you use this ability while this card is on Vanguard. And while in your hand, you can discard this card at the beginning of your raid phase if your Vanguard is grade 1 or less to add up to 1 grade 2 or lower card from the top 5 cards of your deck. Why would you even discard this for its second ability when it's clearly a grade 2 Ristander? On a side note, I must have put on my tinfoil hat because I realize these cards are secretly conditioning V Premium or Premium players in case they decide to play Standard and try out its right deck system. Speaking of Standard, Squalid Freak is a Dark State card while in your soul gets 2 additional grades if you did not ride this turn. And while in your soul, you can bind this card when your grade 3 or higher Vanguard attacks and you didn't ride this turn to give all your front row units 5k power. If you're part of the 1% that bought the physical copy of Dear Days and play the Japanese card game, know that Bushiroad is making you feel special by giving you a support for Favanil. Forest Hunter Guardian Prosper is a stoic area card when placed on Rearguard by a card's ability, lets you soul charge 1 card. And while on Rearguard, it gives a unit in the same column as him 5k power when he boosts while you have a Lionorn Vanguard. So if I know my Lionorn rulings, he can give himself the 5k power when boosting Lionorn from her ability, which also power her attack even more, then can give himself another 5k power when he boosts normally on his Rearguard column. If this is correct, then I'm sorry to say that this card will be the next promo card to be sold at a ridiculous price. Is it not great to just go to school? Reveler is a Lyrical Monasteria card when placed on Rearguard. Regards all your trigger units on Rearguard or in your deck as normal units if you have a Hassaret or Medial Vanguard. And while on Rearguard during your turn, all of your other Rearguards in the same column as her get 5k power if you have a grade 3 or higher Hassaret or Medial Vanguard. This is probably the first Lyrical Monasteria unit that actually connects 2 ride lines in terms of support. Though I have to question if she helps me deal, seeing as you may want to reveal a trigger unit for her ability. I'll have to assume that the ruling regards it as both a normal and trigger unit is to get both effects. Don't quote me on this. I haven't had anything to eat as of writing. Those hoping for reprints may soon get their holiday wishes. Fleeting Shine That Lights Life, Aiding Monster Tech Sheen, and Drilling Angel will be reprinted with new alternate artworks. Now if they can do the same for Brainwash Swirler, I can finally give Bushiroad my seal of approval, which is as worthless as it sounds. Since the next school semester for Lyrical Monasteria hasn't been announced yet, Bushiroad's next best nation to milk the player base gets 2 cards in DBT09. Operate Master Free Heat when placed on Rearguard, lets you pay 1 counter blast and a discard if your order zone has a set order to either add up to 1 card with the same name as your Vanguard or up to 1 product order card. Then place 1 product order card from your hand into your order zone if you have a Welstra Vanguard. And while on Rearguard, you can pay 2 Soul Blast when he attacks a Vanguard while you have a Welstra Vanguard to operate 1 product order in your order zone. This might be the most rows of card text on a grade 2 unit I've ever seen. Meanwhile Welstra just sits there with his 4 rows of card text. Goes to show how this is a twisted analogy of how the higher ups of a company basically do little to nothing while those under are doing all of the work. Finally, Assault Flight Carrier Lubetzel is a set order card when put in the order zone. Makes you draw a card and soul charge 1 card if you have a Blitz Vanguard. And while in the order zone, you call up to one unit card with a grade equal or lower than your Vanguard from the top 5 cards of your deck when this is operated during your main phase. You draw a card instead if this was operated during the battle phase. Funny how this carrier is literally launching random employees or Welstra himself instead of actual products. Bushiroad tries to make a unique game mechanic, and they can't even stick to its own rules and logic. And that concludes this Vanguard news video. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments how you're being conditioned to play standard by seeing all the waifu decks.